welcome to our second session of Hell's Horses.
Hell's Horses!
We have Taylor as Sheriff Hayes Alexander, and Liam as Birch Hobbes, and Eric as your faithful keeper. Let's just start, because I've been wanting to play this since we stopped. So what happened last week?
Well, now, I believe we came up, well, that's where we ended at. We ended at, came over a hill, and the barn's on fire.
That barn is Marcus Litlow's ranch. Marcus Litlow being a man in his 40s. We spoke with him and his wife, Alva Litlow, who's in her 20s.
A beautiful young thing.
We found out that that while all of his horses were let loose, he believes it was due to incompetence from a man, Mr. Thurston
Gummore.
Yeah, who works for him, and he
known drunk.
Also believes Mr. Thurston to be a drunk, because Mr. Thurston reports seeing a giant flaming horse. We found out it could be due to some monetary owings to a Merle Laskowski.
Yep.
If I wrote that down correctly.
Perfect.
In a town nearby called Mayhew. We went to follow two of his ranch hands, brothers named Archie and Jebby Witwicky, who were trying to round up some of the missing horses, and found them just wandering.
Found 5 of them.
Back. Yeah, they found 5 of the 20, I think we believe we saw missing, 2025.
Yeah.
That's what my note says. Found that many, 5 of them just wandering around, which led them to believe that these were very bad horse bandits. We return to what Taylor described. The barn is on fire back at the Litlow Ranch.
So how I see this is the 3 of you are right on the edge of that eastern ridge that looks down on the 4 of you. What did I say, 5?
3.
Oh, it's 4 of you. Are standing on the edge of the eastern ridge that looks down upon the ranch below. I think that Archie would take off immediately, saying, "I gotta save the barn." But I think the 3 of you, the sheriff, the deputy, and Jebby, the younger one who has sense to his workings, I think the 3 of you realize that barn's beyond saving. It is engulfed. It's completely engulfed. If there's anything in there, it's not alive. Because you have waited a beat, you do notice there are 2 figures down by the barn, and you would assume it's the Litlow couple. What would you like to do?
From up on the hill, it's evening now, right? The sun is well down.
The sun is just setting.
So beside the light of the fire on the barn, can we make out most of the ranch, or is it pretty hard to see?
Because it's below the horizon because of all the ridges. It's kind of in its own little valley, basically. Small valley. So it's pretty it's shadows everywhere except around the barn because of this fire.
So I couldn't try to take in the rest of the scene. It would just mostly be dark with silhouettes. If you want to wait that beat, yes, you can take in the scene, and there's read a bad situation.
There's nothing for you to see. We're not going to do a roll.
Okay.
There's nothing for you to see at the moment.
Okay. I take a second. I scan the entire thing and can't see anything different. So cautiously, I'm going to keep my horse under check and move down.
I think you guys would kind of go a bit quick, not slow, obviously, but
yeah, not at a gallop.
You're not going to tear it out like Archie.
Yeah. You don't want the horse running at fire and getting spooked and running away.
Yeah. So as you guys get close to the barn, Archie's down by the small little pond that's in the middle of the ranch. He's got a bucket and he's trying to run back towards, and from a great distance, he throws the bucket, doesn't even hit the barn. And he's just guys, come on, help. We gotta get this fire out.
Birch, go stop that fool before he hurts himself.
I'm going to grab Archie by the arm just above the elbow and just be like, Arch, listen to me. There's, that barn's done for, my friend. It's a damn shame, but if there's any animals in there, we can get them out. But only if it's safe, because that is coming down, and that is not something that bucket by bucket we can put out. I'm sorry, friend.
I think with your words and your touch, I think he kind of realizes that, and he kind of just slumps to the ground and just watches the fire burn. At this point, you notice that
I want to feel the heat.
Miss Alva is close to her laundry line, also on the ground, just staring at the fire, and Litlow standing about 30 paces in front of her, halfway between her and the barn, just standing, watching his big, huge, expensive barn burn to the ground. Taylor?
Sheriff is not going to approach Mr. Litlow, but he's going to circle the barn. Not slowly, so to speak, but he's going to circle it look around the ground before coming around back. Mark, Mr. Litbo is going to come back up to him. Mosey about?
No, they don't see anything.
No flaming hoof prints.
Give me an investigate mystery.
As a roll plus sharp?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell, I don't see a damn thing. I don't even know where my shoes are.
Mark experience.
How low is it?
That's a 5.
Damn.
Yeah, mark experience. So you don't find anything. What's Birch Hobbs doing at this point?
I think right after I stop Archie, if he doesn't like make for the barn to like help get things out, I get the sense that it's a storage barn.
No, it's like it's an animal barn. Like they would have some horses and hogs and some other stuff in it, but as I said, the flames are so intense that you guys know that nothing has survived. Like it's already too late for anything like that.
I am going to walk over to the Litlows and kind of stoop down so I'm like level with Alva, but then kind of like try to get eye contact with her. Does she look like she's in shock or anything?
She's like not looking at you. She's still staring at the fire, and there's just like tears like pouring down her face. And I think you just kind of sit there for a second. I think she turns to you and says, Deputy, I think I see the sun at night now.
Do hope you'll forgive me if this seems as some sort of portent, but I was not hoping that you would see something like this. I was only hoping to find out if there was any truth to our friend the ranch hand's tale of a fiery horse. This is terrible. I'm so sorry, Miss Litlow. And I'm gonna look over at Marcus and say, I'm mighty sorry, Mr. Litlow. Is there anything I can do aside from sit with y'all?
Alva says, I'm not talking about the barn, Deputy. And she points towards the ridge on the other side of the ranch.
Oh, shit.
And at the top of the ridge is a horse with fire for its mane, and there's a rider on it.
Excuse me, what?
And it does the whole like kick up in the air and like the whole horse scream thing and starts taking off.
Sheriff, go.
Wait. Where am I in relation to this as I'm circling the barn? Am I closer to this thing then?
I think you came around, so like you were like looking at Marcus, and then behind him you see Birch and Alva talking, and you see Alva point up. So I think your eyes go up.
I point behind you.
So
Sheriff, go.
The moment I follow the point, like even before Birch speaks, and I see that, I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Run back and grab my horse, but I'm going to be a beat behind. I whistle and it starts like trotting over, but it seems a little skittish from the fire, I imagine. So I run back to it and mount up, gallop off after.
All right,
Anita. We're climbing that hill. Let's go, girl. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to do on the way up?
The sheriff is gonna make sure his revolver is loaded. He is.
I'm swinging out the hunting rifle.
He's got it out and he's ready to party.
I think this would probably be a good point for a read a bad situation.
Okay.
I would totally agree with that.
I'm only going to offer this instead because it's my negative, but maybe act under pressure? Like pulling out these guns while keeping on this thing? Or is it...
No, I want you... How about you help out the sheriff's role? We'll see if you help out.
Perfect.
I don't want you to roll separately for this. I think let's just do a help. Let's try to keep a lot of these. If you guys are together,
yeah, I
only want one real roll and one help out. If
so
it's
experience isn't going everywhere. All willy-nilly. Now remind me, the help roll I roll, and if I succeed, he gets a +2.
I think it's
+1.
Help out.
On a 10 plus, you grant +1.
7 9 +1.
On a 7 9, you grant +1, but you expose yourself to danger.
Okay, no, I love that.
All right.
Oh hell yeah! I got an 8.
So this
okay, so let's see what Taylor rolls.
Sure.
Oh wait, sorry, I got a 7. Okay. Help out is cool. I didn't even realize.
Well, sheriff is not very cool, unfortunately.
Neither of us.
No, you rolled sharp.
Oh, sharp.
Yeah, I rolled cool. You rolled sharp.
Why do I roll sharp?
That's what a bad situation is.
Oh, I was reading Act Under Pressure. All right. That's much better because that is 8.
Okay, so Okay, perfect. So yeah, so you help out. So you get to ask me one question from that list of questions.
This is...
What's my best way in?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question.
I'm going for this thing.
That's what I was hoping for. So you're scanning the ridge line, and Hobbes yells at you and points to a section where you think you guys can head up, and maybe cut some of the time off between you and the flaming horse with its rider. So you actually kind of go on an angle. You're kind of guessing which way it's going, and you you both crest the ridge, and you see it's not really that far ahead of you. You think that if you press hard enough, you might be able to catch up to this. And as you see it, it is a ginormous horse, and it is flames. It's not like red hair, it is like bright flames. And you see a man on this horse. He's got a rifle in his hand, and like,
does he have a head?
yes, he has a head.
The sheriff.
Me gesturing to my neck might make you think to like stop talking.
That's why I stopped talking. Taylor?
All right. Are we in eyesight right now of the Litlow or the Witwickies?
I think it's just we crest. We get out of their line of sight.
We are out of sight of the the Litlows and the Witwickies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can only see the smoke. There's no sign that the Witwickies followed you guys.
All right. I think the sheriff, in his experience, is gonna pull some freaky shit.
Cool.
He's gonna been muttering under his breath as the deputy's catching up to him, and as deputy arrives, the sheriff is going to snap his fingers, and he's going to try and cast a spell.
I did not even realize.
There's use magic. It's not limited to anyone. It is a basic. So I'm going to try and use my weird.
You have a magical dagger, right?
That's
okay. Use your weird.
0. Okay.
Before so this is only working because he has a magic dagger. I was gonna say it says when you use magic.
No, I'm trying to decide how he has magic.
Yeah.
Well, it's just being from his magical dagger. He's experienced some shit in his life, plus his library and stuff. That's
just it. I'm drawing off the fact that I'm the expert, so I know stuff. I might not be great at everything.
Wouldn't be able to, yeah.
I don't think so. I think let's try to keep it to just one of you.
That makes I love that so much, but I did not see that coming.
You know what? I was just reading my stuff and I thought, hey, let's try it. So we'll see. What I'm trying to achieve is, in fact, here's it. One thing that is beyond human limitations. But in this sense, I'm trying to just speed up our horse. Not like, we're instantly on them, but faster than they would normally be able to travel.
And this is perfect because the glitches could be things like my horse doesn't speed up or your horse becomes uncontrollable and stuff like that.
So
okay, I like that. I think I like that a lot. Give me your roll.
Hello? Where's my weird? It is not very weird. In fact...
Can I help at all?
I don't think...
Not with the weird.
Alright, so... Okay. I don't think... I guess nothing happens. You just see me muttering and snapping my fingers and... just a fizzle. It doesn't say anything on a failure.
I think he gets to pick, though.
Yeah, so you got a failure, eh? So I think I'm going to have to throw... You were trying to make both your horses speed up?
Yeah, I was.
Their legs fall off.
It really doesn't say, though. That's why...
Yeah, but I got to throw something at you. Like, if you fail...
You do. By all means, you do. I'm just...
Yeah, failures are always...
Mark your experience.
Yeah.
You're going to level up tonight, Taylor.
Hell yeah.
Don't hurt Anita Reason. Please.
Need a rest.
All right. Your horse starts to glow like a bright pink, and it starts. Just your horse does this. It starts to shrink a little bit.
Shrink.
So it's starting to get smaller. It's starting to shrink.
Oh, Anita, I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant to do.
Oh, Anita.
Birch, follow that horse.
Is Birch doing anything?
I am. When I see the pink glow and look and don't see, I can tell he's doing something, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to press my knees together to get a good grip on the saddle, and I'm going to bring the gun up. I'm just going to try and flank this thing.
The one-handed rifle shot?
No, two hands.
Okay.
Grip with the knees, and if this kicks me off the saddle when I fail, that's going to be it. But I'm gonna try and shoot the rider in the shoulder. I want to All
right, do an act under pressure.
Okay, that's bad. I have a -1 to act under pressure because it's on a cool stat. But with a 6 and a 3, I end up with an 8.
Okay.
There's a but to this success, though.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a price to pay.
Okay.
You hit the rider, and you see him fall, but because you weren't paying attention well enough to your riding, your horse hits something and stumbles. You're gonna fall off your horse. You're gonna take 2 harm.
2 harm.
Yeah.
That seems very low for falling off a horse. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like you would kind of know how to fall off a horse in situations like that.
Okay. I am only.
You know what I mean?
Oof. Unstable's bad.
Yeah, unstable's bad. So you kind of like hit the ground and you kind of roll like action hero style. Whereas for you, Sheriff, your horse is getting smaller it's getting smaller and smaller as you're running. You're gonna have to ditch off your horse in a second.
Oh yeah, don't worry. As soon as I see that Benita's shrinking and I reach the point of no return, Sheriff's gonna take a jump, so to speak, and try to just land running. He sees that Birch has landed that shot. He hasn't looked behind him. He doesn't know Birch is down.
I'm gonna yell as I see you hop off as I'm tumbling. I'm gonna be like, grab Pickle.
What's Pickle?
Pickle's my horse.
Oh.
And
can you give me an act under pressure as well, Sheriff?
Shoot.
To land on your feet?
Yeah, I want to see if you land on your feet.
Don't worry, I'm level up tonight, boys. It's how it's gonna be. For sure. Oh, hell yes! That is 8. Made it. Sort of.
Alright, did you have your gun ready before?
I did.
Yeah, he said they had the rifle, or he had his revolver loaded.
I had my revolver out.
Your price to pay, unfortunately, is you're gonna like jump off your horse. You're gonna do like a nice roll, but in the meat, you've lost your pistol in the brush. It's pretty dark out, so
That's fine. The sheriff keeps rolling. He gets that trusty saber of his out from the war. He just does not stop.
As you start running, I'm going to yell because I'll have tumbled at this point. I'm going to be like, hop on Pickle. I got the rider. Do not lose sight of that horse, sir.
Probably about 50 feet in front of you is the rider, and he's getting up, and he's got his rifle trained on you now. Sheriff Hayes, what
Oh, hell no.
What do you do?
Well, I don't change course. I raise the saber kind of in front of me as if I'm going to try and deflect the bullet, but I'm going straight for the rider. The horse is gone. I don't have a horse. I'm not athletic enough to jump on Pickle. Hell no.
He fires.
But
he doesn't fire. He just clicks the trigger and nothing happens.
Dirt in the barrel.
And he stops, and as you're getting closer to him, and like the moonlight is kind of starting to kick in a little bit now, you notice that like his clothes are really shabby and really dirty. His skin is like gray and brown and dry. Yes, Birch?
Can we say from where we are, is he particularly larger than a normal man, or was he just on a very big horse?
He was just on a very big horse. He's a normal sized person.
Weird.
But he's clear, and his eye sockets are even empty. He keeps clicking his rifle at you as he's walking towards you. He throws the rifle away, and he comes at you.
Well, let's kick some ass.
All right.
Let's just kick some ass and see what happens.
Can I reload while they do this? Would that be any roll, or do I just...
No, you would just... I think you would stand up and be reloading.
I get to reload. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to whistle for Pickle to stop.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, you see Pickle's kind of like, because of the way it hit, he's stopped and he's kind of coming back down around towards you.
Perfect.
So,
reload.
The sheriff knows how to handle himself in a brawl. Because I rolled a 9. My tough is +1. So I got 10. The sheriff's about to school you in some close-up stuff. Cold irons. So, what would you...
So it's a cold iron sword, you said? And you rolled a 10?
Mm-hmm.
I got a 10.
So that means you get to do one of those extra effects. So what do you think you're going to do? Do you want to do it like terrible harm? You suffer less harm? You force them where you want them? You gain an advantage? You got to choose one of those.
I'm actually going to give a +1 forward to my associate who is behind me.
I feel like that also be like kind of a combination of like force them where you want them. I feel like you're probably like you've ducked to the side to allow
a clear
Hobbes
shot
to get a shot.
My plan is, as we're obviously engaging in combat, I've taken the sword. As he swung at me, I've gone low and I've gone for his legs. I'm trying to like hamstring the forward bastard.
Okay.
And while at the same time moving to the side to again, allow my associate a clear shot at this son of a bitch.
How much harm does your sword do?
It is 2 harm.
Wow.
We're both dealing pretty medium damage. It's awesome.
Okay. He will, like, as you try to duck past him, he does get you across the face with a swipe of his hand. It's only 1 harm, though.
Sheriff, used to it. Don't worry. You got this.
Now, am I able to, as he wheels back around, I'm able to hop up on my horse and take a shot?
I wouldn't say both. I feel like...
Okay, I'm going to hop up on him and, like, write the course we're on. And that might burn the hold 1 that Taylor gave me, but I'm not doing this on foot. I'm not good enough with the gun to do it from standing.
Okay.
And so I'm going to hop back up on and start, like, taking a wide berth around them to try and keep the other horse, the flaming horse, in my line of sight. But I'm going to try and line up for a shot.
You jump up on the horse. So you're looking for the let's just start calling it a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think we've all agreed that that's what it is. Right? You're trying to get your eyes on the nightmare at this point?
Yeah, before I take the shot while I'm on the horse, I just want to try and see it. And then if it's too far away, I'm going to shoot when I can.
You get up on your horse, you don't see the nightmare, which, like, it's on fire. You should be able to see it. It's not like there's a ton of trees which are up here. There are some trees and stuff in the way,
but it's huge.
You don't think it could be hiding.
Mm-hmm. It glows.
You're not sure what happened. It's mysteriously gone.
God damn. All right.
Birch, a little help here.
Coming, sir. And I'm going to just spur him forward a little bit.
What are you doing now, Sheriff Hayes?
I'm up close and personal, so we going to try and cut off an arm or something here. I don't think this thing's truly alive anymore. It's want to incapacitate this.
Yeah, you get the sense that it's not a living being.
So I'm going to roll to kick some ass. See how the sheriff does around 2. Oh, the sheriff is whooping so much ass. He got another 10.
All right, what do you want to take as your...
For this one, schooling this poor son of a bitch, I'm going to suffer 1 last harm.
Okay. So you actually evade his attack.
I dance around this poor son of a bitch.
And you're going for his leg?
In my description I said his arm to try and halt from attacking, but if you allow me, yes, I'm going to continue at his leg. Cut that son of a bitch down to size.
Yeah, I figure, like, you've hammered it a couple of times. I feel like, so you managed to, like, chop off his right leg at the knee.
All right.
Okay.
And he stumbles a bit, but, like, he kind of grabs onto you as he's stumbling.
And so he doesn't swing. Yeah.
Doesn't inflict harm, but he's kind of using you as a crutch right now at the moment.
All right.
Did you want to try to take a shot there, Deputy?
Yeah, I think if I see he's holding himself up, I'm going to try and shoot at his other leg.
Okay, great.
To, like, stop him. So I'm going to, that's another act under pressure for the gun.
Give me kicks some ass, actually, for this. Actually, yeah, give me kick some ass for me from this one.
Okay. That means it could go poorly for Taylor. Oh, God. Oh, fuck.
Deputy, you going to a range today, let me tell you.
My tough is +0, and a 2 and a 1 give me a 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark my second experience.
Yeah, so mark your experience. So you fire at this thing, and you hit it. You hit it, but not, like, you hit it, like, in its upper thigh, and it's just, like, you just kind of graze it, basically. But it pulls one of its hands away from Taylor and points at you, and then a burst of flame comes, like, streaming from its hands towards you. You take 2 harm from that.
Ooh, I am unstable.
Like, the flames just hit you.
In that instant,
I think your horse rears away, and some of the terrain around you has caught fire at this point. Sheriff?
Would I have recognized any of that gesture before that fireball came out? So I was going to say if I could check something.
Yeah, you know what? Give me a roll. It's a good...
If he doesn't go through it to protect someone, it's worth noting that damage would put me to the unstable, which means I have an injury that will persist. Which, as a burn, would be pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I feel... Yeah, like, you got burned on your arm. We'll probably say it. And it was silly how this protect goes. Give me a roll.
I'm just thinking I'm this close. Way up close and personal. I'm
grappling.
Supposedly an experienced man. Rambling. Yeah, shut up. Oh. No, you're going to take that. I rolled a 4 with a 5, sorry. Oh, so that's more experience.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I feel like you try to swipe at him, swipe his hand with your sword, but you miss him. So you're reeling away with your horse now at this point. What do you guys want to try to do now?
Is there any chance, like, if it got me, like, burned my arm bad enough, like, would I drop the rifle?
I think it'd be harder for you to fire the rifle, but he burned your left arm, I'm going to say.
Okay.
So you caught on your left, you like kind of try to shield yourself with your left arm, and
then I'm
your
gonna
left arm is just
sling the rifle over my shoulder and draw my revolver. I've got a holdout pistol. It's not as good as a revolver, but it's still solid. And so I'll have to reload it, I think is the implication. It's not a full barrel, but I'm going to draw that and just wheel in like a tight circle to try and keep myself from being in one spot for too long.
Sheriff's still dancing with this poor fool, right?
Yeah. So Sheriff, what do you want to try to do here?
The dead gentleman is still hanging on him.
He's got like his left arm right on your right shoulder. Kind of dragging, but he's kind of also like propping himself up with his left leg. So he's kind of stable at the moment. You just blasted him, and then he's like turned his face back towards you, and is like kind of going at your face with his face.
All right. Well, the sheriff will meet his face with his own face, and hoping to stun him or at least knock it back, and then he's going to try and cut off the head.
Okay, give me a smash roll.
Failing that, I got backup, sir.
Pass. Sheriff kicks so much, eh? I just rolled a 12.
Oh wow!
I kick so much, eh?
I feel like I have to let you kill him on that.
Well, my no.
Yeah, you headbutt him. He staggers backwards, and you chop his head off.
No one beats up my deputy but me.
The husk just like the man just falls to the ground at that point without his head.
I'm going to fall out of the saddle in a much dramatic fashion as I am very close to dead. I got 4 out of 7 harm, and I'm just going to kind of like slump to the side, be like, great swing, sir, and just kind of pass out from the pain.
The sheriff is going to beeline to his poor deputy and do his best to...
The gun goes off when I fall, and it kills you.
Well, hell.
Well, this was fun, guys. Hope we get to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Hell's horses.
Yeah.
We'll carry on in season 2.
Game.
Your sons show up that are like the same age as you, and they're more boisterous.
No, I'm going to collapse off the side.
So I guess what I'll have to do is be...
I think that you run over to him, you help bandage him up.
That's not going to undo it.
I think it's going to get you... The aid he's give you is going to be enough to get you back to town.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to kill someone off of this.
Yeah. No, I've got three harm left I can take, but I'm 1 deep into unstable territory, and so I need to I'll need to like seek care beyond what like field medicine can do. So
I was going to say, I think if you're unstable, I can do first aid to make you stable, but that's about it.
Yeah. I'm going to say I think unstable is a weird name for it, because I don't think is that like bleeding out for unstable, or is that like you broke your leg?
Bleeding out. Yeah, it could be something that's just could get worse.
Okay.
It could be like a bleeding wound.
So I won't change anything, even though I've been quote unquote stabilized. Cool.
Yeah, I think you're still at 4 harm, but you're...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do we gather up your tiny pony, sir?
Are you even awake?
His pony's starting to return back to normal. Its color's back, and it's starting to like slowly grow. It shrunk down to the size of like a Great Dane. So its saddle actually fell off. It shook off its saddle, and it's just off like eating some grass off the side right now.
So we have to gather up your gun and your saddle and
the sheriff
figure out how we tell them I got burned.
I don't think we have to tell them much. A flaming horse just ran off over the hill.
We cannot go back to them and tell them that they actually saw a flaming horse, sir.
Your damn gun blew up in the back side of your face. Fine. Now I'm gonna whistle Anita Rice, get her over here, pick up my poor excuse of a deputy, toss him over that, and start walking back towards the barn. What's left of the barn. Making zero reference to the body that's sitting over that way.
Wait, should we not take a look?
Boy,
what was that thing?
You just got your ass handed to you on a silver platter. I don't even own a silver platter. Get you back.
I'd like to know what did the whooping, if I could.
We'll figure that out, but for now, I need you back in one piece. Now let's get on back to the house and get you looked at. So,
all fair for one piece, but there are 3 pieces of
You
something
listening to your
lying on
sheriff?
the ground back there.
You listen to your sheriff? Shut up. Shut up.
I
No.
do not like to be contrary or obstinate, sir,
Oh.
but if that thing looked to be dead before you killed it, as crazy as that sentence is, and you and I both know that there's more to something like that than just leaving it lie.
I don't know many things that can survive getting our heads chopped off. Now, shut up. Let's get you healed before I chop off your head. Let's
Let's
go.
at least bring the head. I'm going to walk back and pick it up.
You are not capable
Like
of doing
Limbo.
shit. I've slung you over the goddamn horse.
Nah.
You are not doing shit. You are
I'm going to go pick up the... Like, as soon as you wake me up, I'm
Let's
going
go
to
with
pick up
Taylor's
the
way.
hat.
Let's go with
You
Taylor's way.
are
It's fine.
done.
Yeah,
You are
try, he
unstable.
slings you over the horse. 'cause
Yeah.
You're done. As soon as we get over the hill, I'll yell for the Wiki boys, get them to come over. Be like, take the deputy inside, bandage him up, do whatever you can for him. I gotta go back. I gotta check something. Sheriff.
Alva and Jebby come out and grab Deputy Hobbes. They bring him up to. They bring him into the living room. They throw him on a couch, and Alva's
Evening, ma'am.
evening, Birch.
Evening, Jeb.
What happened?
Oh, that sunrise came a little early.
One second. What does Taylor want?
When they come to get him, the sheriff's just gonna say, I gotta go get Pickle. I'll be right back.
Archie's gonna actually follow you. Sheriff, I'll help this time. I'm sorry, Sheriff. And he starts following you as well.
Archie, you stay there and make sure nothing else comes up by and spooks no one.
Let Logan take care of his own ranch. I'm with you, Sheriff. And he starts following you.
Archie, stay.
Let's jump back to her, Birch, for a second. Let's do this conversation.
I think Taylor looks like he wanted to make Archie stay.
I did do. I said, Archie, stay. I will manipulate.
Do you want to manipulate him?
I was going to say, yeah.
All right.
Because this failure will level him up if he does fail.
No. I'm still one. I need 2 more experience. Oh, charm. Plus 1 skill. The sheriff is charming. I rolled a 9, so that's a 10.
Okay.
And the reason.
Okay, so yeah, he won't go with you then. He'll go back and reluctantly watch the
The
ranch.
sheriff commands you.
Cardinal range.
Birch, what do you want to talk to Jebby about?
I think, honestly, thinking about how hurt I would be from tumbling off a horse and getting burned like this, I think I'm just saying nonsense at this point.
Yeah.
The conscious part of my brain is trying to deflect from what happened, not out of shock, but to keep them secret.
Backstory time.
Yeah. And I'm going to be like, no, there's no need that worse things happen every day in the excavation. There's nothing. Oh, this will just need a little bit of Jebby. Do you know if there's any, I guess I should be asking the lady of the house, Miss Alva, is there any whiskey floating around? I think I'll be fine. I can help the sheriff if you just get me a quick little drop.
There's actually a small bar in the living room that Jebby runs over to and gets some and starts giving you some. And Alva's starting to bandage up your arm for you. And
I'm going to be fussy.
She's just kind of flabbergasted.
Fussy. I'm trying to not let her do that. And I'm just going to care. No, like most things, I think Mr. Glaive will take care of this on his own. I don't think I need any conventional medicine, ma'am. I'm just going to be just fine. And kind of try to shrug her off, but not be able to.
Yeah. And then with Jebby as well, kind of starting to hold you down at this point too, because they're realizing you're not in the right mind. So he's holding you down while she starts bandaging up your arm for you.
I'm picturing I got a concussion coming off that thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take, as long as he keeps pouring it as she's bandaging through wincing, I'm just going to keep taking shots of whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Sheriff Hayes.
Go investigate.
Let's investigate a mystery.
Go investigate that body. See what we can find out. All right. Sharpest. What we got? Oh, 13. Rolled an 11.
Jeez.
Hell yeah.
I'm killing it. The sheriff's on fire tonight. Not literally. That's the deputy's job.
So you get hold 2. So what kind of questions are you asking me?
Well, is this limited to right here?
It's kind of limited to what you can learn from is here.
All right.
What's right there currently and the scene that led to it since you witnessed it, I imagine. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the question I would be asking, what sort of creature have I chopped up? What about it do I know?
It seems like it's a dead man of some sort, who's been dead for probably a few years. Like the skin is dried out. As I said, the eyes are gone. A lot of the teeth have fallen out. It's just a dead man, and it looked like he was some sort of cowboy, possibly, based off his clothes, but they're pretty decayed and dirty.
Part of that question, am I able to identify any distinguishing mark? Like anything distinct about his clothing, or maybe he's got a gold tooth in a certain spot?
He does have like a rusty belt buckle that still shows a design. It's like a buffalo head on the belt buckle. And I'm also going to give you the rifle too. You managed to find the rifle. It's pretty dirty. Its stock is actually filled with dirt. That's why nothing came out of it when he fired. It's not loaded. But him being dead, he's just working off muscle memory. But the stock, the wooden stock, is very good carving of like a deer. It's done into the wooden stock of this rifle.
That trigger anything for me?
I mean, there's not a lot of people around here that do really fine woodworking. You guys only know one person that really works with wood.
Lady Alpha. Cut that out. Cut that out. That was
no, that's nice.
A gentleman would never speak of
you are out of your mind right now. You will say all kinds of stuff.
They hear me like responding to it like he's really concussed.
So with that said, do I know that Thurston's that good with hands?
Yeah, Thurston's done some nice stuff out there. Like he's done a couple of things for the church in town.
All right.
You think that he could have done this. So.
All right. So, as a technical question about the game, is that one question now that I've got, or two?
I think you have one left.
Yeah, you had two, yeah.
I still have one? Okay. I had two? Okay. Just wanted to know if my two questions were my two questions, or was that just all part and parcel?
Can you wish for more questions?
No.
I got one more question. I got one more question, too.
I didn't know if that was a part of what sort of creature is. Is that what we were inferring?
No. I think that...
I still have another question.
Yeah, I think everything I included is that under that first question. You have one more.
Clarifications don't. I was going to say clarifications don't chew out your hold numbers.
I just don't know.
Just so you understand.
I think that's all.
So dig deep when you can.
So I was just trying to do.
Looking for that clear gold.
I don't think.
I have a whole bit ready. Don't you worry. When we get back to the saloon.
I don't know if I would be able to get anything else from the body. I think the only other thing would be asked about the nightmare and where did it go?
Oh,
is one of the questions what happened here? Is that one of the investigative mystery questions?
It is.
Yeah.
Could you spin that in any vague way to like get shit out of Eric?
I can try. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. The sheriff is just staring at the body, pondering his circumstances.
Do you want me to stall for you?
No. That's okay. I got this. All right.
Okay.
The question's going to be what happened here. Is like, do I see dirt on the body? Do I see any kind of carvings into the body itself, like some sort of runes or magical circles, some sort, maybe somewhere on the skull or on the chest area?
No, actually, you look over the body quite well, and like it appears that it's come from a grave of some sort. The only weird thing about it is like it was burned by the fire that it spewed from its own hand. So that hand's like a bit charred. That's the only weird thing about the body. Otherwise, the body like looks like a corpse. Like you wouldn't like if you didn't know better, you would think that this has been dead for 5 years.
No.
Like and not walking around. Like it doesn't look weird at all.
It's not kicking her ass.
Not.
No blood came out when you chopped its head off. It was dry husk.
Now, you said from grave. Can I infer it's freshly from the grave? Or has he been taunting her about for a little while?
I don't think you'd be able to tell. I don't know. It's got dirt on it. Like
gun is clogged with fresh grave dirt.
Yeah. Like it's, yeah, you know, if you knock some of the dirt out of the gun, yeah, it looks kind of freshish. Like it's not like sun-baked or anything.
All right. So
maybe it's fairly new to being exhumed.
So at this point, the sheriff is going to obviously take back Dead Man's rifle. He's going to try and recover his own revolver. Poor deputy's rifle. Yeah.
You'll be able to get all that stuff. You get the horses, grab the belt buckle as well.
Yes. I'm going to take that all back, but I'm going to hide the belt buckle for now. And the stock, I'm going to make sure is kept under wraps. I don't want
I'm sure you could have like a blanket or something you could wrap around the rifle and hide it among your own belongings. I'm sure you can
Smart.
keep that secret as well.
Good call.
No.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
All right, so I'm gonna.
No need for Litlow to know everything.
No need for many people to know much. I'm gonna mosey my way back.
Will the two of you indulge me in one of my favorite things about cowboy culture?
Yes.
No.
There is a long and storied history of cowboy poetry that I would like to bastardize in this moment. And so they're still bandaging me up and like kind of keeping an eye on me. And I imagine Jeb knows enough to like keep me upright. He sees like the cross look in my eyes and like it's not shock from the burn. It's like I knocked my head when I tumbled. I'm gonna like look at him with kind of like this dizzy look from the liquor and from the concussion, and then look over at Lady Alva and be like, Miss Litlow, are you familiar with the fact that most of us horse riding folk are prone to working on prose when we have such long times in the saddles? I bet you both Archie and Jeb could charm you right to tears with some of the stuff their brains probably come up with. You write anything, Jeb? I know you and your brother spend a lot of time out and about. You probably got a whole notebook. I know you can read and write much better than Archie.
Yeah, Birch. I mean, I write down a couple of things, but most of it's not polite conversation for the lady here. Gets kind of lonely on the range.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? And then his face is gonna like sharpen a bit and get like completely serious, although the eyes aren't completely focused. He goes, you see, you are aware that you are unaware. There's time passing. You can feel it, both a minute and an age, and you climb a clear golden ladder woven strong from somehow glowing threads, higher, and he kind of like jolts a little bit like he was dozing off, higher and away from all these treads, higher above no one's heads. He's like dozing again, and then kind of like jolts up. It doesn't matter to you when you started rising, never does, but you, and then he points at Alva, can't imagine the top. Yeah. You, and he points back to Jeb, cannot see the bottom, and you do not want to stop. And you awake, and I was just looking at the room, to what you left below, or it may be that you don't fall to earth like lightning, or rise forever like dispersing smoke. And then he's gonna pass out. He's so fucking hurt. Yeah. And he's drunk too.
So, Sheriff, when you're coming back down, you see that Litlow and the Witwicky brothers are talking in a circle. It seems actually like they're arguing for a second. As you approach closer, both Witwicky boys walk away in a huff, and they get on their horses and they take two of the horses and they start riding away because they haven't noticed you're coming back yet. So they start riding away with two of the horses. So Litlow's just kind of there yelling at them to come back.
Now, what the hell's been going on back here?
Those Witwicky boys are just more trouble than they're worth. I had to fire them.
Fire them?
Yeah. Sheriff, what's going on? Did you find who has been doing this to my farm?
No, sir. Unfortunately, he seems to have gotten away. Poor deputy there doesn't know how to clean his gun properly. Backfired in his forehead.
You're more useless than udders on a bull. Now,
listen.
What do you even do if you can't figure out what's going on here? And he starts storming away from you.
I'm not here. I don't know why you're reacting to what's happening in my video.
No, not you. I'm trying to formulate what the sheriff would do at this point, and I'm torn because I think the sheriff is insulted, but at the same time,
he should be.
He is, but I think he's going to swallow it because normal folk don't see what happened out in the hills.
Yeah,
that's not for Litlow or anyone else to know. That's why I kept Archie here because yes, the sheriff's angry, but
No, I think that's the appropriate response here. I feel like
gonna bite it down.
I really like your decision there. I feel like it's really what like
I'm upset. Okay,
Buffy
I want to
or,
say
you know,
something.
what them would do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I think it's very good for you guys trying to keep the secret of
Supernatural,
the terrible things that go on.
But I'm biting at the bit. Like I punch him. I want to punch Mr. Litlow in the face, but I'm not.
For being an ingrate to all the things you protect the world from.
Correct. This poor old man swinging his sword and protecting dumbass ranchers and shit. Anyways.
So,
Breathe.
I don't. Do you want to question Alva at all? Like come in and check on Birch, and do you want to question Alva at all, or do we want to like kind of get to the next scene?
I think I'm fine with fast forwarding to the next scene just because the deputy's down and out for the night.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out on my own as much as I just did there, but I figured the danger had passed. Got to make sure my boy's okay.
So Alva makes a bed up for you in the same living room that Birch is passed out on. They don't have a guest room in their place. But she makes up like brings you some like an extra pillow, an extra blanket.
Sheriff sleeps in the sail, so
there's a fireplace so you guys can stay warm. The next morning,
Sheriff's going to sleep rather lightly. Every couple hours, he's actually going to get up and just kind of go outside, walk around a bit, just doing a quick once about, coming back in,
drinking some Sanka.
Yeah, and when I come back in, I'm going to check on Birch, make sure he's not fussing or stressing.
He seems like he's getting better. So you're gonna be now stable, Birch, and we're gonna take away one of your harm.
So I am at the edge of unstable, which I think is perfect because I'm hungover, burned, and like getting over a minor concussion.
Yeah. So I mean, if you take it easy for the rest of the day, we might be able to knock another harm off as well. It depends like if we go back to town, stuff like that. So morning arrives. Alva puts together like a really quick breakfast. She apologizes. It's not anything more extravagant, but her and Litlow have decided that they're going to head back to town. They don't feel like it's safe here anymore. They're going to go stay at their general store for the moment. So Birch, I think you're awake at this point. Do you guys want to do anything?
Before they leave, Birch kind of like through his hands without really lifting his head says, if we're going to be looking into what's going on here, do you mind if we stay in the house?
Litlow says, like, don't go rummaging around my office. If you have to. And then he kind of just, again, storms away. He's kind of fed up with you guys.
Mr. Litlow, job done. We're not in his good graces right now. Got a risky request. I'm going to
bet before they leave too, I'm going to stop Alva at some point. Like while she's apologizing for the breakfast, be like, ma'am, this is finer eating than the sheriff and I get most days. Don't you worry. You
insulting my cooking, boy?
I'm insulting your cooking, sir. And like laugh weakly. And I'm going to look at her like really serious and say, if you see the sun at night again, you grab Mr. Litlow and you grab as many people as you can. You get them out of whatever buildings they're in. You get them to town square, and you just keep safe. All right.
Yes, deputy. God bless you.
God bless, ma'am.
And so the Litlows pack whatever few belongings they have onto the few horses they have left and start to head to town.
All right. I think the two of us would wait a bit, see them all relatively safe, and I'm going to turn to Birch like, we're going to go to my house.
Are we not going to go
We'll be back.
We're not going to scout out and try and find this horse, this nightmare thing?
We'll be back, but we got to make a stop. We got to prepare ourselves accordingly for what we're going to go out and do.
Maybe you got a book on this thing. Who knows?
My book might have something to help heal you up a little more. Who knows? But we ain't going to find it in this house. Come on.
They do have a bar, but point taken, sir. And I'm going to follow him outside, hop on the horse as gingerly as I can.
I'm going to help you get your poor ass on.
Okay, you guys head back let's just jump right to the sheriff's house. So it's an uneventful horse ride back. Get the coconuts out.
The reason I want to do that is at my haven, which is my house, I have lore library.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I did not take an infirmary because I didn't think you'd get your ass kicked so thoroughly by yourself.
I didn't think I was going to shoot fucking fire out of the zombie hand. I back your decision.
I wish I had taken an infirmary now. Son of a bitch. Oh, no, never mind. So while we're here, you're going to be resting up for the most part, and I'm going to hit the books, so to speak.
While he does that, since I'm harmed and my left hand is shot, Would I be able to, from like whatever the sheriff has lying around, maybe leave my hunting rifle and take some sort of one-handed gun or like a knife or something? I don't carry a knife.
I'm sure you'd have a pistol, someone would have a pistol.
I've got a pistol, but it would be a reload each shot. I don't have a revolver.
Oh, is it a one shot?
I realize it doesn't make super huge amount of sense.
You would have a revolver. I think you'd have a 6-shot.
The trouble is that the revolver is it's a main weapon, a normal weapon, and the holdout pistol is one of my secondary weapons.
No, but we're playing crazy Wild West rules, so you have a revolver.
Okay,
you would have a revolver.
Okay, then I'm gonna stock up on some extra revolver bullets and keep the rifle just in case, but just make sure I'm ready because I don't think I'm shooting at anything moving for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I think those rules are fine for normal adventures that take place in the modern world. Mm-hmm. It's like how many guns is a person going to have? But like we're in the Wild West. I assume you guys have a rifle or a shotgun. And like if you have your horse, I'm assuming you definitely have that stuff. And you definitely have a pistol on your hip. Like there's no way you can be a sheriff and a deputy without a pistol on your hip.
Sheriff, you think I could, you got a shotgun lying around, something I can stabilize on my forearm?
Yeah, just, if you go around back, watch the stack of books, see any coffee lines out, just dump it. But yeah, if you go around back, past the old coop there, you'll find a hole, whatever you're looking for.
Okay. At your discretion, because the shotgun is 3 harm but close range, and the hunter rifle's 2 but far range. Do you want me to take one?
You guys
and leave
are well
one?
healed. I think that I'm okay with mixing and matching with this stuff.
Okay. Then I will for now leave my hunting rifle in like a nice tidy spot, and pick up the shotgun and grab a couple bullets.
Right. So you're doing research. You're looking through your books. Did you share the rifle and everything with?
I presume as we are making the way to my house, I presume it's going to be a number of hours at least from one side to another because I'm out there. Don't forget. I presume I would fill in the deputy.
Well, he does the reading. Is there any way I could? You said we know one person who works with wood.
It's your friend.
Yeah, Thurston.
Okay, perfect. I was going to make sure I didn't mishear that. I think while he looks at that, I am going to wrap the rifle up in a blanket and go looking for Thurston.
You're bringing the belt buckle with you as well, right?
Or do you want me to bring him here, Sheriff? Do you think if Thurston could take a look at this, maybe let us know some more about this carving?
I think you should maybe question about it. I don't know if you should confront him alone with the rifle in hand.
You know what? I'll go over to the saloon with the intention of settling out his bill and ask him some questions. See where he's at, and if I'll bring back some lunch.
Still don't like my cooking, huh?
You're gonna be busy with the books. No need to interrupt that.
Get your ass out.
Yes, cooking a rush.
Nothing wrong with beans, boy.
What is the saloon called, guys?
Oh shit, that's a good one. I don't know. Didn't you think about it?
I have an affinity. I love the name. I used it for an inn in D&D, and I'm happy to give it over because it fits with the Western setting. The Kettled Crook, because anything you can cook over a fire can be cooked in a kettle, and if someone steals something, you verb them with the kettle. You throw the kettle at them. So the Kettled Crook.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Proprietor is
Ned.
I have a thing that I should open up for names. I made my own name generator for this.
Perfect.
I told you guys.
You didn't. That's awesome.
I found like a list of like people from the Wild West, like just regular people's names, and like I was like cobbled it together into like my own personal name generator.
That's awesome. So who, man or woman, name details runs the saloon? Let's get the name and go from there.
I kind of want it to be an older woman. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Hard as nails. Takes no shit from no
I also
one.
like the idea that if it's a man's name, for it to be an older woman who's just like got a man's name, and we can explore that.
Just tough as nails.
Oh yeah.
I want her to be able to take anyone that tries to start anything. She don't need no bouncer. She is the bouncer.
Do you have any ideas on
Gertrude?
Yeah, Gert. I like Gert.
Gertie. Yeah. I like Gertie.
It's Gert on the land lease.
Boomhauser.
On the
Gertrude Boomhauser. No.
No, how about Lundberg?
Okay.
Gretchen Lundberg.
Lundberg?
Yeah.
Gretchen Lund with an N?
Yeah.
Lundberg. All right. So I'm going to go, while you read up, I'm going to go settle up the money I owe to Gretchen for Thurston's stay. And Thurston is a woodworker. I'm going to add that to my notes while I'm thinking about it.
As you enter the saloon, Gertie calls out to you, Deputy. Deputy, what did you do to your arm?
Did the sheriff tell me that he's lying about it being my gun backfiring?
I did. I would have filled you in on what happened and what action.
That old rifle I've been slinging around, it and this works because I'm not carrying the rifle anymore. That old rifle I've been carrying around finally kicked back, knocked me clean off pickle. I'm here to settle up. I sent Thurston your way. Make it here yesterday?
He did. He's been pretty responsible actually with his spending. If it was his own money, I think it would have spent a lot more. But he's being a good boy right now. Actually,
that is excellent news. I'm glad he's. We give him a lot of crap, I know, but thanks, Gertie. Where is he still up in his room? Is he looking around the saloon?
He's actually just off in the corner, just having a drink. You actually see him. He's got his back to you.
But I picture with the morning sun. I'm just squinting at everything.
Yeah. He's got like a small bottle in front of him that's almost polished off, and he's just kind of like slunched over.
I'm going to sit down across from him and be like, "Morning, Thurston."
Oh, Deputy. Whoa, your arm.
Yeah, I put it up on the table. I'm picturing this burn going from like top of the hands to like the inner bicep and then up the neck.
Yeah.
Just like as I let go of the rifle, it went.
I feel like you just kind of like tried to shield yourself and you turned and you just caught all of that.
I'm picturing even worse. Like I reached forward because I was holding the rifle. And so it like caught the back of my hand. And as I flinched, it rolled over to like my forearm
okay, I like that.
my neck. So it's just like there's no comfortable way to like put my arm. So just kind of like slump it forearm up on the table. And my neck is kind of at a weird angle to keep the skin from like crackling.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And it's still bandaged. So it doesn't look, it just looks like pads with like wrapping. So they can't see that it's a flame burn and not like a shrapnel thing. And I go, old rifle, which actually is kind of why I'm here to chat with you. Obviously wanted to touch base. Want to make sure you're doing okay after all the trouble you went through yesterday. And I would like to know if you carve wood for handles for stocks on rifles. And I would like to roll this as one of my net friends.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's not from the cult, but I figure if I can roll charm, he can be incredibly helpful here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to use my net friends. So if I get a 10 plus, it happens. But I got a 10 exactly. 9 plus 1 on charm. And so they're available and helpful. They can fix something, break a code, hack a horse, hack a computer, or get me some special information is the thing I'm thinking of. I saw on the Litlow farm, one of the guns they had lying around had like this really ornate pattern to it. And I was thinking, if I'm going to have to get a new gun anyways, might as well get it done well. Do you do something like that?
Well, I mean, I haven't done it for a few years, Deputy. Honestly, it just kind of reminds me of the life that I used to have. I'd love to get back into that work. And I mean, if you got a rifle for me to work on, I would gladly do it. I haven't done. You said you saw it at the Litlow farm?
I had a bit of a day yesterday, and so I might have just been imagining things. But if I did see something like that, it wouldn't have been your handiwork then, right? It would be
not at the Litlow farm. I never did any work like that for Litlow. I've only been working on his farm for a few years, and I wouldn't. He would never pay for something fancy, is what I usually do.
Kind of what? Tell me what you do. Anything in the family of Cervidae, the deer and the moose and things like that.
Oh, I love doing the deer. They're actually one of my favorites. I've done a bunch of those.
I think I might want to do that. First thing I ever hunted was a buck, and so that might give me better luck than the one I was using before. One of the olds. Yeah,
like we can talk about. I mean, I owe you, so we can talk about a really fair price for me carving up a handle for you.
Once I'm up and kicking, we'll get that done. That's awesome. And anyone else in the area do it? Like, did you work under somebody? Did you apprentice?
I mean, I learned it before I came out here, back on the other side of the river, the old life. I'm the only one in the territory, as far as I know, does stuff like that.
Well, it's very lucky.
You saw someone Litlow farm?
I hit my head.
I wish I could take an eye on it. I like to see other people's handiwork. You learn stuff from seeing other people's work.
I have to confirm with the sheriff what actually went down. I took a pretty hard tumble when I backfired.
Yeah, you don't look good, Birch.
I'm
Do you want
also
me to help you back to the sheriff's?
No, I'll be okay. You finish up your meal. I'm gonna just grab a bit of food for the two of us and take it on over. And if he saw it too, maybe I can have you take a look at it at some point. I just feel like I saw something. Again, I was seeing stars, so it could have been just my own rifle butt. But it just got me thinking, and I figured I know a guy who I can trust, who can work wood, and so came and saw you. Just want to make sure you're doing well, and let you know you're still on my tab for the next. Let's see how you're feeling tomorrow. How I'm feeling tomorrow, and I'm gonna.
Well, honestly, Deputy, I think I'm gonna be grabbing the stagecoach out this afternoon. I gotta get out of here.
Can I ask you to stay at least until we know a little bit more? I'm gonna look at him dead in the eyes and go like, I know you didn't do anything wrong here, and
manipulate me.
Yeah. Oh, okay, charm, good. I end up with a 10. And I'm going to say to him, I know that you feel like you're under the gun right now, and I'm going to like look around like a little sketchy and then look at him and like pull the bandage off my wrist a bit. So it's like, you can see that it's like a burn. And I'm going to go, my rifle did not backfire, friend.
You saw the horse.
I think the sheriff and I have been...
He looks around, make sure like no one's listening. Did the horse do that to you, Deputy?
Now, I don't want to go into too much detail. Like I said, I don't remember most of what happened, but if you hang around, the sheriff and I could definitely use your eyes and your know-how on some stuff. If you would just do me the honor of playing host, courtesy of Gretchen over here at the Fine Kettled Crook. And I kind of say it to everyone, and I imagine a couple people in the bar kind of go,
Hey.
could you hang around until just for a couple days?
All right. For you, Deputy. I mean, other than old Gorgo over there, you're the only one in this town that shows me any kindness. So.
I'm going to stand up and with my good hand, just like get him on the shoulder as I'm walking away and just say, much obliged, Thurston. I'll come looking for you later today or tomorrow. And I'm going to leave and head back to our reader.
Yeah, Gertie already has some sandwiches ready for you. She knew you'd want some takeout. So
hell yeah.
It's on your tab there, Deputy.
I settle it out then.
Okay, great.
The stuff I owe for him and the sandwiches, and then it's clean when he spends
like
a couple days.
It's like $1.50 that you have to pay her.
I flick her a modern loony.
If only, right? Damn.
All right, so how's your lore library work there?
Sheriff? I was going to ask you about that. So, Corn just handed in a piece of paper. When I hit the books, take a +1 forward to investigate the mystery.
Okay.
As long as historical or reference works are appropriate.
Yeah, give me a roll. I'm sure you'd have a book about this.
I don't think he rolls on this. I think he carries forward a +1 on the next thing he's like investigating that he thinks is relevant.
I think I get.
Yeah, that sounds.
That's
right.
what my books do. It's what my library does.
If we're looking into this like flaming horse, he gets a +1 on everything about it.
Well,
to your discretion that he could have possibly read up on. So like any like, I imagine like, I was thinking Doulahan, I was thinking like Headless Horseman, but obviously that's not it. And so like he finds stories that kind of this weird horse and this rider, and he can reference them whether they're accurate or not, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's the next time you use your investigative mystery roll.
Yeah, on the topic. I don't think it could be used for something that's not applicable if he has to like pick a topic, but that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you're right. I like that.
Because that +1 could get you a 13, which is a whole 3 on an investigative mystery. It's nuts.
There's time to also look at my mystical library.
If you're casting like a big spell,
I don't think
then that's when you use it.
I think any big spell the sheriff would try to use would have to be like done in his haven. He's got to have like a big circle drawn up, and he's got to have all kinds of points. I'm just talking about.
That's what. What was the mechanic for that called? It's got such a great name. Is it big magic? Big magic.
Use big magic.
Big magic.
Yeah.
That's for big magic. That would be something like that. This would just be like a little incantation I attempted to do while we were trying to chase down a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So just a little kind of mutter under my breath, a few fancy words, gestures, or something. I actually think this would mostly be aimed at doing some sort of healing spell for when the deputy is back. I'm trying to pair something for him because he's banged up real bad.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Let's try to do like a healing spell then.
Okay. I come back with the sandwiches and I insist, Sheriff, if you're looking to I'm not gonna fight you if you're gonna try and do.
Well, I might kill you. You never know.
First, I need your head on your shoulders if you're gonna be doing. And I get like hushed if you're gonna be doing magic on me.
All right, give me that there sandwich. Is that from Gertie?
You know it's from Gertie. Where else would I have gotten a sandwich from, Sheriff?
Oh, she always treats me right. She got a special place in my heart. Oh yeah, we get it on with Gertie.
I feel like it'd be like a corned beef sandwich with like pickles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And like some German mustard. I think that's what Gertie would make.
Yeah.
Like fresh rye bread she probably made.
It's rye bread.
Gertie doesn't fuck around.
I miss rye bread. Oh.
Yeah.
Was it Gretchen or Gertrude?
I said Gretchen, but you guys have gone with Gertrude. That's fine.
I think I have Gretchen written, but Gretchen shortened to Gertie is pretty good too.
Gertie.
Yeah, I think it's like in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah. It's like
I think it's probably like a nickname that stuck with her and she didn't like make it herself. It's like Gretchen doesn't short to Gertie. What the fuck, guys? But she just lets it roll.
It is now.
Gert sounds like more of a man's name, so it could go with like the land ownership fun thing.
Yeah.
And so you are going to try and use healing magic on me.
Use magic.
Give me a roll.
Right. I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot here, but because there are two of us, there's an argument to be made that this could be with higher risks using big magic if you make me help. If that's within the expert's like ability to do with the library you have.
Well, like the mystical library only says for use magic. It doesn't say big magic.
Okay. Perfect.
I can try to do a big magic, but I won't get the bonus from the library.
Yeah, no, if the bonus, I need the bonus. I need to know that you are at least not going to burn my arm the rest of the way off.
Well, I can't make that promise. I can still fuck it up.
You can still fuck it up.
No, but in terms of big magic, I don't think the sheriff is going to be a high practitioner, so to speak. And I think the only place he would ever...
Ideally, if we're going to do big magic, it's to be for like a big mystery. Yeah. Not just like our first one. Like, I'm not going to let you do big magic just to heal him.
No. But I mean, like, the only time, it's only for really big things, but he would only ever do it in the end. That's one of the things I took, and that's like a totally secured room. Like, in it, I figure...
Well, it depends on the situation. Like, we'll play it by ear. I'm sure, like, I'm going to allow you to take advantage of your mystic library. I'm not going to, like...
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine.
Take that away from you. So,
but big magic is separate from use magic, from what I see.
Yeah, but I think your mystical library will help you with big magic. I think it'll be like, because you have it, I'm going to let you do some big magic stuff eventually.
I think
once something really cool needs to happen.
Well, see, that's a different thing in this, though. There's magical laboratory.
I know, but okay, we can do whatever we want.
But I figured even if I was to do it, it still says it takes days or weeks to research said ritual.
Yeah.
I think you would only perform that either I have a magical laboratory at the time or inside the oubliette. That's where he would prepare to do any kind of big anything. No, big magic was scary all kinds of help. Oh, you need people to help with it. Look at this.
It depends. Like we'll talk. Like if we end up doing a big spell, me and you will sit down and talk about what we think it's going to look like.
I don't. My mind, he knows of big magic. He does not practice big magic unless it's like an extreme situation.
I know, that's what you need. Like we might push you there, which is really exciting.
Which nothing's worse than doing it unprepared, which is so fantastic.
Which I think maybe in his past he dabbled in it, and that's why he's very, very wary of.
All right, let's see the magic roll.
All right, Debbie, you sit your ass down on that there chair. Let's see what I can do.
I, Liam, want to keep the scar, but if he does really well, I won't take that.
I don't think I'm going to be able to, because he's not a magic.
Yeah, this will just get me back to
It will get you back to work. It's not going to be pretty. You're keeping the scar, no matter how well this goes.
It is worth noting I'm sitting at 3 harm right now, if that affects Eric's, like, playing of your role.
So, thanks to my beautiful mystical library, I had a +1 moving forward, which I still don't understand +1.
So you spend the time so when you do a hold plus a number, that means that you get it's like how when you maneuvered the guy, I got a +1 if I shot at him because you've given me some sort of advantage. The books give you an advantage to the next time you do this magic. So you're going to use magic to try and heal me with this +1 from reading up on, say, saves.
What?
Taylor just tipped his webcam down at a 12.
Yeah.
Well, an 11 +1.
11 +1, but we'll take it. So the keeper will offer you some 0.
Oh, okay.
Keeper offers me an added benefit.
I think coupled with your day of rest, we're going to heal Liam completely.
Okay.
But again, you keep the scar.
Yeah.
Like
He rolled a 12.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be 12. Like, it's supposed to be 2 harm based, like, probably 2 harm.
It sounds
based
like
off of it.
3 harm is a great boost to that.
I think also coupled with your day of rest.
Yeah.
And the fact that the magic.
I was going to say, you probably got 1 from the rest. You get 1 from me succeeding, and then you're getting that 3rd because killed me.
All right. I'm going to take off the bandages and like look at it and be like, all right, we're going to have to wrap me up again if I'm going back out into town.
Well,
And I'm going to fill you in on Thurston.
oh, I was going to say, he acted out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So he's going to get you in the chair. We're going to undone the bandages, and you're going to see me just kind of go quiet. And you don't hear me, but my lips are moving. I have like a hand out, praise Jesus, you are healed kind of thing. And I like concentrating hard. Like, you don't normally see me like that jackass. I'm not demonic, but the sheriff is confident. You don't see him often, like brows furrowed. Like he's sweating while he's doing this. He's just mumbling silently for like 5 minutes, and then at the end of it, you just kind of see this blue, almost black glow kind of emanate from the end of his hand, and then he has to just kind of like rock back on his hand, like onto his butt. He's kneeling in front of you, and he's just like handing out a sandwich.
I'm scratching at it.
Like as that light heals you, like it itches. Like it's not just like you're
like crazy.
It itches because it's not like I magically healed you. I just sped up your healing to the point. You got ants crawling on you. It is not pleasant.
Ugh. And I imagine it hurts like crazy while it happens too. Just like grit my teeth, and then I kind of like scratching at my arm, grab you the other half of the sandwich you didn't eat.
I'm just looking well. Well, Birch, it'll work. But sure as hell, your mug did not get any prettier.
Oh, and I like feel at the smooth kind of scarry skin on the neck and the arm. I'm just like, that is. I mean, I wasn't working with much anyways, sir. Much obliged. Although, do not. I'm just going to aim to not get hurt real bad again because I do not enjoy this mystical nonsense happening so often.
All right, now what did you find out in town?
So it turns out, only person in the area who would have carved anything with deer on it, and notably a few years back, lining up with the fact that this rifle looks to be old and that fella looked to be a few years dead, Thurston probably carved this rifle.
You asked who he carved him for?
Now, I did not ask him that. I figured I kept it vague because I did not want him to know that we had something that possibly he knew of without checking with you. I just made sure that he's the right person to ask so we don't waste any time, because we got, I imagine, until sundown before that rider might come back. Well, the horse at least.
That rider's not going anywhere. Nope.
I kind of like grabbing at my temples because I'm still hungover, but I feel a bit better after all that. And I go, I'm not convinced. Did you bring his head? Did you do anything to stop this undead man from stitching back together?
I don't know of anything that sells back together.
Now, I don't know. There is a definite cyclical pattern. 2 nights in a row, this thing shows up. Thurston doesn't remember seeing a man on it, but he's on board to answer more questions if you got him. If the horse comes back again, what's to say it doesn't come back with the rider? It's already undead.
Unless that horse knows how to sew, it ain't coming back. Now, you're right. We gotta go ask Thurston some more questions.
You can cauterize wounds, Sheriff.
You think a horse gonna be able to pick up any damn piece of that thing? It's in pieces.
I'm not going to pretend
Birch.
to know anything about what this horse can do. That thing is a nightmare. There's a nightmare walking around.
Whatever. I still don't see no damn hands on it. Quit worrying about that rider. They could get a different
I
rider.
need hands that can shoot magical fire.
Talking about the damn thing that shot you, not the damn nightmare. Now let's go talk Thurston again. Got some more questions.
I'm gonna hand you the rifle, the one that he carved. I'm gonna say, I need to sit for a bit. I'm not gonna get all bandaged back up just to go talk to Thurston again. I think you should go talk to him. I may have lied a little bit about maybe seeing a rifle like this, but again, I kept it vague. So be as blunt as you'd like. he's being good. I convinced him to stay in town for a few days until we can figure this out. I think he might be a little more honest if you're. I think now is the time to put the spurs to him. Get as much detail as you can, and I don't want to be there to cushion anything.
Don't worry, I'm going to give him the spurs. You rest up now, and I'll be back.
Yeah. And I'm going to say to account for like the quote unquote day of rest you're saying, I'm going to stay here to like let the healing finish.
So the sheriff is going to be heading out to find Thurston.
Yeah.
And you're staying to get rested up.
Yeah. I'm going to say, you say I get a day of rest plus the healing is going to heal me all the way up. I'm going to take the rest of the day until we leave town or the sheriff comes to me with something else to do. And I'm just going to rest. I think mostly out of like discomfort. The healing feels weird. And he's not like he's got this distaste towards magical things and the like religion end of things. So he's just kind of like uncomfortable today. Eric's reading. That's never good.
Yeah, I was looking at something. Just trying to think about how I want this next beat to happen.
Do you want to play the scene and then decide after?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do the Thurston scene. So you try to track him down at the saloon, but he wasn't there. He just stopping by you see him as he's like just exiting the cigar shop. He's just picked up some tobacco.
Sheriff's not going to be moving subtly.
So you move up to him as he's like exiting?
I figure he's probably going to turn to go probably to one side or the other. And the sheriff is going to be moving with purpose, and he's going to kind of grab him and take him into the alleyway. This is...
Sheriff, like, oh...
This is not...
What?
Kind of toss him against the wall. The sheriff's not here to take any kind of prisoner right now. He's going to pull out the gun stock. Like, this your work?
Sheriff, what? I don't understand why you're being...
That's not answering the question. Is this your work?
Do a manipulate me roll.
Plus charm.
Okay.
Liam?
I want to hear his number before I ask what I'm going to ask.
Oh.
I rolled an 8. My charm's 0, so I got 8.
Okay, I can't bring it up. I was going to say if my like laying the groundwork for this conversation to happen could act as like a help somebody, but it won't do anything to change the result. So
no. Sheriff, unhand me. I didn't do anything to deserve treatment like this. Unhand me. If you want the conversation to continue, you have to let him go.
All right, Thirst. I'll step back, but I'm still blocking the end of the alleyway. Like sheriff still means business, and he's still holding up the gun stock.
He backs up, like dusts himself off. He's like, I was uncalled for, Sheriff. I've been nothing but cordial and helpful and cordial this whole time. I don't understand why you're
and now I've got
tossing me in the street like this.
And I've got a deputy who's burned half of his body. Is this your work, Thurston?
Just 1 second. Do you mind if I take a look at it? And he like holds his hands out for you to pass it to him.
Points the gun at you.
I don't feel threatened by Thurston. I don't think he's going to pull a gun on me or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I just want him to know that I'm here for answers. I need those answers.
So do you hand him the rifle?
Yep.
Okay. So he's like looking at this rifle, and he just he stumbles backwards and kind of like uses the building behind him just to kind of like hold himself up. Sheriff, where did you get this?
Where do you think I got it, Thurston? I got it from a dead man, Thurston.
Virgil's dead?
Is that who this was? All I know is that he's shooting flames out of his hands, and now he's in 3 pieces.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I carved this for a really good friend of mine 4 years ago, and I thought he left the territory. Where's his body?
Said it's in 3 pieces now up past the Litlow Ranch. What?
Was this what Birch was asking me about earlier?
Kind to it.
Quite possibly.
I just don't understand how. I thought he left.
What was Virgil into? And I'm not asking that like unkindly. I'm just naturally. I've calmed down. Like I'm not as harsh, but still.
Yeah, he's like slid to the ground at this point too. He's just kind of like.
And like the sheriff's gonna like
absolutely flabbergasted.
He's gonna like knelt down, like.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I get it. You're like right in his face, kind of still.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil, he worked for Litlow before I did, but we were good friends. We used to play poker a lot together. I made him this this rifle butt as a gift for him. It's the last one I ever carved, and there's one night he just got up and left.
Say anything that night?
I thought he ran off with his lady love.
Who may that have been?
But sorry, you just asked who that was?
Who may that have been? Yes.
He ran off with Nella Litlow.
Nella?
Fuck.
Say Nella.
Nella, yeah.
Fuck.
It was Mr. Litlow's previous wife.
What?
Oh my god.
Hold up. I got writing to do. Previous wife.
I've just been taking notes.
Marcus. Oh Lord.
You could not get me to take notes in a Pathfinder game. You're right.
Does the sheriff know of any kind of this? It was
kind of before your time, I think, when this happened.
Okay.
So you wouldn't know. Like, you might be able to ask around town about it, but
no personal knowledge of.
No.
Peace. Okay.
Like, you probably were even unaware that he was married before. Like, yeah.
Did Nella disappear that night too?
The whole town though thought that they ran off together. She left a note saying saying her husband not to look out for her, not to consider themselves married anymore, and we thought they took off for greener pastures together.
Took off for something. What was Marcus's reaction, Mr. Litlow?
As far as we knew, he was pretty pissed off about the whole thing.
Search for him?
He got drunk a bunch throughout town afterwards, got angry, then he started concentrating on making his ranch a better place, and then he eventually built that big house of his.
I'm out of space on my whiteboard. Oh god. I got it.
So, at this point, the sheriff is from his back pocket, going to pull out the buckle. Does this mean anything to you?
That was Virgil's belt buckle. He'd be sore to see it in such bad state. He used to keep that shined up real nice. Oh god, Virgil's gone.
Sorry about your friend, Thurston. Truly am.
Thank you, Sheriff. Do you mind if can I keep the buckle and the rifle?
I'm gonna hold on to the rifle for now. You're welcome to the buckle.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff. That's mighty kind of you.
Thurston, I got one last question.
Yeah, sure.
Did Virgil ever say anything strange about anything at all? Ever talk about magic?
Virgil a witch?
No, Virgil, he was, he's a great farmhand. He's a great great cowboy. He did talk to me about Nella sometimes. I was the only person he talked to about it. They fell in love when Marcus was out working. And he kept talking about it. They were going to run away together one day. And I thought they just did. I was so happy for them. It's so rare to, find someone in this terrible world of ours. I always was sore that he never wrote or let me know that he was gone. But where was his body? Who did this to him?
I know where his body is now. But I don't know from whence it came. It's a question I'd like to know myself. Thurston, I apologize for my initial reaction. Do me a kindness. I'll take you over to Gertie's, buy you a drink.
I just need a few minutes, Sheriff. I'll be fine.
All right.
And he just kind of puts his heads in his hands and he starts crying a little bit.
I'll be over Kettle if you need it.
Yeah, he doesn't respond.
Sheriff now knows his way over to Kettle.
I bet you feel like a jackass.
A little bit, but I felt so good doing it. Oh.
He had to know.
I had to know. Oh, that's great. Ooh, the shivers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Once the next day dawns and I'm able to cash this in, I'm using the information the sheriff gives me and I'm going to fucking connect one of my dots.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm just going to ruin part of this game for you.
What do you guys want to try to do next? Do you have any ideas? What do you think should come next?
My thought is we should try to get back to the ranch before nightfall, if that's possible, and just kind of keep a watch out, keep up the whole night, and then reset ourselves to night.
I think for you to get back that harm, you're gonna have to stay the night in town.
Well,
then we should gear up for the next day to just spend the entire night up at the ranch.
Okay.
If Taylor's into that.
You don't want to try talking to the Litlows a little bit more at all? Because remember, they're in town at the general store.
That's fair. I'll say when I wake up, I'll connect the dots by maybe talking to the Litlows? Is that
Well, I'm
I'm
still in town, right? Like you're technically on the outskirts because you're in.
Taylor's got more time without me if he's got more
Yeah,
thoughts.
we still have time in this day. Like,
Like,
this day's not.
It's like mid-afternoon, I imagine.
I did.
It's you know what, you're probably right. It's probably like 3-ish, 3:30ish.
Yeah.
Starting to get later in the day. Yeah.
I did say I was going to be at the Kettle. I don't know if you want to interact at all there, but I'll say the sheriff spent an hour there waiting to see if Thurston came back.
Like after like half an hour or so, he comes in.
Okay.
He kind of like keeps his head down and he heads off to the side to like a back corner to sit down. And you see Gertie bring a bottle over to him in a glass.
All right, and I'm not looking for any real interaction here, but he comes in, obviously doesn't come over to talk to me. He's gonna hand Gertie a $5 bill. You make
Should be like $1 to keep him in the drinks.
$2. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
You just make sure he's well looked after, not Gertie.
Gertie gives you like a nice little like pat in the face and she walks away.
All right, I'm off to the shop now, the general store.
The general store?
Yep.
All right, so the general store is usually run by a young man named I almost said Solomon. That's on my list of names. Tate Dorsey is the young man who greets you as you enter the general store. He's the usual,
like Horsey.
Dorsey. D. Yeah, I like Horsey with a D.
Awesome.
Afternoon, Tate.
Afternoon, Sheriff. What can I do for you?
I'll tell you, the Litlows around?
Yeah, I'll go get Miss Alva for you. One minute. He pops in the back for a second. And Alva comes out. Sheriff.
Evening, Miss Litlow.
Well, I do declare.
Afternoon, Miss Litlow. Your husband about?
He's doing some work upstairs in the office. Is there something I can help you with?
I think right now I'm just looking to talk to himself. Is it all right if I go up and speak to him?
I'll see if he can come down. And after a few minutes, Marcus angrily comes out of the back room. You can tell that like he came from the stairs in the back. Sheriff, this better be important. I got important things I need to go over.
Sheriff, going to take the stock out of the gun, kind of drop it on the table between the two of them. I assume, because he's coming from the back, so I assume the counter is between the two of them right now.
The counter's between them, yeah.
So, and he's going to just kind of place it there. And he's going to just stare at Mr. Litlow.
Is this supposed to mean something to me, Sheriff? Why are you putting this filthy thing on my counter?
I've been told this rifle here belonged to a man the name of Virgil. A man that seems was acquainted with your previous wife.
Virgil McGuire?
Well, I'm saying.
The man who ran off my wife?
That's what I've been told.
That's what he said.
So so you have his rifle. What?
His rifle up in the hills. Burnt down farm. Some horses.
So it's Virgil that's been, of course, he stole my wife. Now he's come back to ruin me. It makes perfect sense.
Do I sense anything from this? Did I see him hesitate at any, like, when I first brought out the rifle, spark of recognition actually pop up in his eyes? Do I see him hesitating at all?
It didn't seem like there's a spark of recognition when he dropped it down.
What about from Alva?
No, Alva has no
That'd be
idea.
fucking buck wild, Taylor. Are you kidding me? She's like orchestrating the whole thing.
How old's Tate?
Tate's like a young man, like 25.
For what?
Damn it, this going went totally not what I expected.
Just because you guys are in your 30s doesn't mean that the 20-somethings don't exist anymore.
They never exist.
Yeah, it feels like that to me. It's like no one under 30 exists in my mind.
I'm right here.
I know. So what? Let's just keep the pause going for a second. So Taylor, what are you hoping to accomplish right now?
Well, some part of me was hoping to scare something out of Litlow. In my head, he was going to recognize this rifle or the name Virgil, and me bringing up his ex-wife was going to like trigger something.
So what do you think that happened with Virgil and Litlow?
My thought is that he killed them for fooling around, and then she's the horse.
If that's your thought, so he would have spent the last 4 years lying about this. You think he's slipping up now?
I don't think anyone's called him on it before. He's managed to pull us off with like zero work. He's managed to play the victim.
But imagine spending 4 years building a home and building a ranch and having time on your own to like practice the lie.
But he hasn't had to lie to anyone though. Think about it. Everyone assumes they're gone. He is now the wronged party.
You think that Sunday gossip wouldn't happen every Sunday where people are like, oh,
yeah. You think the old sheriff?
It's a real shame that she left you.
Never
it's a real
rolled
shame
up
that she left me.
Yeah.
If he spent that entire time afterwards as a drunk, essentially, from what we've heard. Like he went around drinking and he was a mess, and then he dived into his work. Who says he's going to church? He could have just avoided everyone because he is
drunk out of guilt. Maybe he's like, I killed my wife. I killed my wife.
That's what I was thinking. Like he I don't think anyone's called him on being the perpetrator in that whole mess.
I understand, and I agree with you, Taylor. I don't think anyone would, because it's like polite society. No one would like outright be like, you killed your wife.
But I haven't said that.
Oh, I will have you answer for this. I think you're crazy if you don't think that someone who killed their wife would try to like think about it and think about like the lie they would tell. Whether he's rehearsed it through like practice or just like sitting there like slowly building his house, nail in his mouth, waiting to put the next board in, going like, well, I don't know. I heard that they ran off. I think it's totally in the realm of him like being so ready to lie about this, whether he's had to or not yet. He's ready. I just don't see how it fucking lines up is the trouble.
Well, like because I magically have this rifle from this man he may or may not have killed, who supposedly has run off with his wife. Like I have concrete proof of something. Like I've thrown this in this
proof that this man never left the territory.
Yeah.
Well,
you do
because you know that the dead body's up there.
Yeah.
But like your concrete proof here in town is you have his rifle.
Yeah.
It's too juicy to be a red herring. It's too juicy. It's too juicy to be a red herring. Has wife stealing and ornate weaponry? Fuck. This is a red herring. I'm looking at Eric's face.
I know.
I'm so mad.
No, it's not a red herring. So what? So like what? If you can't get information of like Marcus Litlow, what do you think you should do next?
I'm not sure. I was hoping to get some information. At this point, the only thing I can think of to do is somehow wrap up this conversation now, and I need to get back out to the ranch. If he doesn't have the stuff I'm looking for, it's somewhere else. He obviously doesn't know.
I have two thoughts on this. And one is, again, I don't want to, I know this is not a game where you ask if you can roll something, but I feel like maybe this would be a time, like, unless Eric is being truthful and the guy is not aware of what's going on, which if he was aware, I feel like he would have asked you to roll manipulate. So that's, again, like, I don't want to metagame it, but I feel like we can trust that this vein is dead, whether it's through his own stealiness or his lack of knowledge on it. I think what we should do is take this info, like you said, go to the ranch. And I want to say every time I play out my connect the dots, I have to be with the sheriff because it's us spitballing back and forth. He gives me all the information he has, and I just tell him every idea that comes to my head, and then we piece it together.
So how about this? I feel like the sheriff can't get anywhere with Litlow. I think like this conversation's done. I think like Litlow would just be like, well, that's enough, and then just walk away again, as he's want to do. I think at this point, the sheriff would probably head back to talk to you to spill the tea about like what he's learned from Thurston.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
I think we should do your connect the dot.
Okay. So
one of your connect the dot things, at least one of your questions.
So connect the dots, just to like reiterate, is at the beginning of each mystery, which I did in the last episode. I look for wider patterns. And so I rolled, it was plus my sharp, which is +2. And I ended up getting, I think, a 12 or I got an 11 or a 12, which means I hold 3, which means I can ask at any time throughout the mystery, which is like this story arc, 3 questions from this list. The 3 questions are, is this person connected to the current events more than they are saying? Which is the one I'm thinking we'll use. Or when and where will the next critical event occur? I think it's pretty clear it's going to be the ranch, at least until the house is burned down. Then maybe it'll move into town, so I'm not going to waste it there. That's my thoughts. What does the monster want from this person? Now that we know there's like a personal connection is the question I'm tied on. And there's one about previous mysteries, so we can see an overarching thread. We can't use that one yet. And how does this mystery connect to the bigger picture is also a little tough on our first mystery.
Yeah, I wouldn't say those last two are too applicable. So which one do you think you wanted to go with?
So Taylor, we have the option of either, is this person connected more than they are saying for Marcus Litlow, which again could be nothing, or is what does the monster want from this person? This person, I will say, is Marcus Litlow, because if it's not anything to do with Marcus Litlow, my thinking is I'm trying to think of some reason why it's Alva to attack their home like this.
I'm more inclined to go with, what's the first one?
The first one is this person connected to current events more than they are saying?
I think what the monster wants.
Yeah. And
is more critical. Because
so
one of the other ones was what, I think, where will the monster appear next, or what will happen next. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be at the Litlow Ranch, or...
That's the thing, but our assumption has to be in character that it will be, because we're heading back there.
Yeah. But out of character, it could happen
throughout
the general store now. That's where the Litlows are.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So we can either say, what does the monster want from this person, or where do we think the next thing will have, which will either let us know if it's the Litlows or the Litlows farm.
I think
are the target.
I think knowing what the monster wants.
No, I think that's a great thought. But if it was going after them, why release the horses and why burn down the barn? Why not burn down their house?
Because it's ruining him slowly.
But if it goes after the thing in town, it's going to have way wider implications and damages.
You think it cares? It doesn't care. It's there to ruin Litlow. It doesn't care about if it ruins anybody else.
That's the thing. If it's worried about ruining him on a financial level and not killing him, it cares about stuff in this realm. I think it's smarter than we think it is.
It's a curse in my head. He's been cursed with the goddamn demonic flaming horse. How that curse
where my brain
goes about ruining him, who knows?
Birch would be able to draw this conclusion unless we get good information from this held question. I don't think... Oh, you know what? I can ask two. I have 3 to use.
You can, but I think what the monster wants is going to be a much better question in terms of what information you get. If it wants to ruin him, if it wants to harm him, it's going to go directly for him. If it wants to ruin him in some way, it could go for property. Like, it could go for the general store, or it could go for the house, like you're saying.
Yeah. Because if we can tell, like, I think we can tell, and I think it makes sense to make this the question because we have just sussed out it doesn't want to kill him. And so we need to know what
Not
it wants.
yet.
And so I'm going to use 2 of these connect the dots points to ask both of these questions. So I'm going to leave myself with 1 for the rest of the mystery, which is dangerous, but I am going to trust Taylor to take these notes as I suss this out in character a little bit. So you're telling me that his wife ran off with the man who burned me, and the man who burned me has fire powers, and the creature is flaming in itself. What could this monster want from Marcus Litlow? Eric?
I think to answer this, actually, I'm not going to just... I think there's actually some more information you're going to need to get to understand what this monster wants.
Okay.
And so to get that information, we can give you a small lead. You need to go talk to Alva and ask her what she was doing when the barn caught fire.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to take that as I don't think you have to answer that question because you have given us the means to answer that question. So I'm going to count that.
And we might have to
yeah, maybe you'll be a little more forthcoming.
Finish the thread for you, but you're going you should be able to get some more information and continue.
Okay, so
what was your second question?
Sorry,
Well,
Taylor.
I was just going to say, if that's what we have to do in order to answer that question, do we want to roll back to Marcus having been confronted by the sheriff storming out?
You wouldn't know until you talk to me. That's the thing. This has to be something that Birch is actively thinking of. And so I imagine we'll do it the morning before we leave for the barn.
You might be able to grab her. You should try grab her tonight.
Once
I feel like you guys are talking. You're probably having dinner at the house.
Okay.
I think that. What was your second question? Sorry.
My second question was, wait. Oh, what are the? I was going to say where and when will the next critical event occur? Because we think
that's exactly what I wanted you to ask.
Yeah.
So you guys decide that maybe tonight. You'll spend the night at the sheriff's office. It's not far from the general store, so you can kind of be there be close to the Litlows without being on top of the Litlows.
Yeah.
So you might be able to figure something out. So I feel like after you guys, sorry,
I was going to say, for the sake of the scene, I think I'm going to talk to Alva because I've got the one-on-one with her.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's a little pissed at the Litlow is pissed at the sheriff for the sake of the fact that I won't be able to keep notes, and I need Taylor keeping good notes.
Okay. So I'm going to set up the scene for you.
Yeah.
So you've had an early dinner. You've headed to the sheriff's office. You brought some supplies for you for the night, some pillows, blankets, whatever, to get you through the night. You have your shotgun with you. So you're just outside, kind of like watching the general store. You see Miss Alva come out and she's walking towards the kettled crook. So you can intercept her now, or when she leaves. What would you like to do?
I'm going to walk up to her before she goes in, but make sure I approach from a direction she can see me coming. I don't want to sneak up on her.
Oh my goodness, Deputy, how are you doing? How is your arm? And she comes up and she kind of like checks on you to make sure how you're doing.
I had the sheriff bandage me back up. And I said, you must be some sort of miracle worker. You've got...
She's like taking your temperature and
I'm
seeing how you're doing.
Already getting a little bit of movement back, and I'm still like hamming up the injury a little bit. But I'm like, I kind of like wince as I move, as she moves my arm. But
I am so happy to see you walking around. I mean, last night after that poem you recited, I thought that there was some serious damage. I'm really glad to see you're doing good today, Deputy.
Birch looks like visibly confused at her mentioning a poem. You say, I've got, I can't ask about that now.
Deputy, why don't you come walk with me? I'm trying to grab dinner for me and my husband. Why don't I buy you a sandwich at Gertie's?
That would not be necessary, but I will happily accompany you. All
right, let's walk and talk there. Deputy, she takes your arm in her arm.
I give her my good arm, and I go, if you don't mind me asking, we're gathering up all of our information before we head back out to the ranch tomorrow morning. And I just wanted to know what it looked like. You and Marcus might have been outside when the barn started burning, or were you by the barn? What was kind of going on before it went?
Well, I was grabbing some water. Marcus wanted a bath. So I was grabbing some water from the pond there. We got a bit of a sluice set up so we can get some water. So I was just grabbing some water to start a bath for Marcus there.
How close is the sluice to the pond, or to the barn? I know the pond isn't too far away, but I was in no mind to take in the full
60, 70 feet from like the house and the barn. It's not far.
And the barn, you were just out working the sluice and the barn erupted in flames?
Yeah, I turned around and the barn was almost completely on fire. Yes.
That quickly, huh?
Yeah, it was. I've never seen a barn go up like that. I thought fire started slow, so it must have been started on the other side when I was already walking out there. I'm not sure, Deputy.
This is going to sound odd, but at any point, did you feel like you were in danger before you noticed the fire and afterwards?
What do you mean, like the hairs on the back of my neck? Were they all prickly?
Yeah, and
no, the only other person around was Marcus.
So you felt as though you were not in danger before these flames erupted.
No, my husband wouldn't endanger me. He always protects me.
I know that your husband would never imagine that. I mean, just in the air, did it feel like what set the barn ablaze, who set the barn ablaze, might have been looking to harm yourself or Marcus?
She doesn't have a sense of that, really. Like, it just kind of happened, you know what I mean?
And so you two were, and sorry, Liam kind of maybe misheard. Marcus was helping her with the sluice, like they're both outside getting water.
You haven't asked yet.
Okay,
where Marcus was.
And so Marcus was outside with you. You felt safe because your husband was with you. Obviously, night was falling. You were doing some hard work, and he was out there helping you. Yeah.
He was outside doing something. I wasn't helping with the water. I turned around and I saw Marcus, and he must have been trying to protect me.
I'm going to need you to be a little more specific. How was he trying to protect you?
Well, he wasn't too far behind me, and he had his knife out, and he must have been trying to protect me from the fire, and or whoever set the fire. You know, the ne'er-do-wells that set the fire. He was ready for a fight, it looked like.
Miss Alva, I'm gonna need you, and I'm just gonna like look her right in the eyes. I'm gonna stop before we get to the saloon and just look at her and be like, I'm gonna need you to think a little differently about what you saw. And I don't want to cast any aspersions. Marcus is, as far as I'm aware and as far as I care to believe, a good man. If he was looking to protect you from a barn fire 60 feet away, why was he approaching you with his knife if you did not see anybody nearby? And again, I know you felt safe because he was coming.
Deputy, what are you trying to say here?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just trying to make sure I understand, because I would not approach the person I'm trying to protect from something with a weapon drawn. That's dangerous. That's the first thing. You see what a weapon can do.
Well, I mean, he obviously knew that someone set the fire, and obviously knew he had to get close to me and protect me in case they tried to harm us.
Did he call out to you?
You chased off someone into the wilderness. You knew that there was people there meaning us harm.
Did he call out to you, or was he just walking towards you with a knife?
I don't rightly know there, Deputy. It was such a hectic evening. You were there. You knew how terrible it was.
I have spoken to the sheriff about some information he's become aware of, and I feel mighty uncomfortable even mentioning what this could mean, but I have reason to believe, I'm friends with Thurston. Thurston's good friend, Virgil. I'm not sure if you were there when the sheriff spoke with your husband earlier tonight.
I was in the store. I didn't hear what they were talking about, though. I know Marcus was a bit rough with the sheriff.
He's in a mood today. I do apologize if that has soured Marcus at all, but are you familiar with your husband's first wife?
I mean, the ladies of the church like to gossip about it all, and sometimes they don't think I hear, but I know that he was married before. He doesn't like talking about it. She left him apparently.
I'm to understand from what, again, this was a bit before I came to town, but I think that Nella was meant to have left with Virgil, and I have reason to believe.
I mean, I know her name was Nella, but I don't know about the man she ran off with.
Virgil might have been the man on that strange horse. And if I'm just putting my brain through all of the questions I can ask, and again, it doesn't mean I believe this, but if for any reason Virgil is potentially looking to do harm to your husband or his well-being, and God forbid yourself, ma'am, it could be that maybe some harm came to Nella and she never left with Virgil. And if I am to believe, and again, mere speculation, that your husband in this terrible, terrible fiction I am cooking up in my head could harm a woman that he loves dearly, I need to know, why do you think he would be approaching you with a knife drawn, Mrs. Alva? I need you to think about this from
now, Deputy. I don't think I appreciate your tone. I don't think I want to continue this conversation. I'm sorry. And she breaks it off of your arm and starts walking away from you.
I'm gonna not grab her, but I'm going to step in front of her. And if I need to roll on this, I will. But I'm going to say, I apologize. I'm sure you're aware I can be quite brusque. I do not mean to sound rude, but when my head goes to these places, I get mighty worried, and my tone is just out of worry, ma'am. And I grow fearful for no reason. I'm sure you're aware, and I'm gesturing to my arm, and I say, I've got reason to now worry even further. I just don't want any harm to come to yourself, and I don't think this is true, but I need to know everything about the net, and so I just need to know if you can give this some new context with this awful, terrible thought in mind. If you could just please reassess what you saw.
Deputy, I need some time to think. And she puts her hand on your chest and says, just please give me some time. And she like sidesteps you and starts walking away again. But she walks past the saloon now, and she's starting to head off somewhere else.
Okay, if I can, I'm going to keep an eye on her. If I can sneak around, I don't want to leave her unattended.
Okay, so What is Taylor burning with excitement over here for?
Because
Just one
Taylor,
second.
you said he came at her with the knife.
I got it.
So you follow her through town. You're sneaky about it. You see her go to the minister's house, and when she knocks on the back door. Actually, you kind of peek around a corner, and you see her knock on her back door, and the minister's wife opens up and ushers her in. They probably talk for like half an hour or so, and then you keep an eye out, and then she leaves the minister's house and starts heading back towards the general store.
Okay, once I see her heading back to the general store, I'm gonna like make a point to try and be like visible outside of the sheriff's office. Like I want her to know that I'm outside of the sheriff's office. And once I'm outside of the sheriff's office, I'm going to very like casually poke my head in and say, "Sheriff, we need to talk."
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I feel like you're probably like leaning up against like the post that hangs that keeps the awning up over your porch. He's probably like in the shadows, like feet up on a chair or whatever, and just like so you guys are like quietly talking to each other while you're like staring off the other direction. I feel like that's probably the scene we've had.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys see Alva go back in the general store from your position. So have your conversation.
Sheriff, after speaking with the Lady Litlow, I have a thought.
Lay it on me.
If Virgil is coming to destroy Marcus, I think maybe Marcus did some harm to Nella before they could escape together. I don't know what the full implications of that are, but to be that vengeful to that you could literally rebuke with fire after death, that sounds like scorned lover to me. And when I asked Alva what she was doing before the fire broke out, she said she saw Marcus walking towards her with knife and all but intent. She needed some time to think on what I said. I got a bit heated, but I think there is a chance that if we don't go into the general store in the next few minutes, when Tate closes up, Marcus might hang a closed sign on Lady Alva.
Got anything for that, or we're gonna?
He's so excited.
I am so
Taylor's
excited.
gonna
I'm so
explain.
excited. I can't say it.
Okay, as you guys are talking, the minister's wife actually approaches. She's like an older lady. Her name Shelby.
Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby's the one.
The last name Shelby. You want?
Yeah. Minister Shelby.
Wilda Shelby.
What's the minister's name?
Let's find out. Miles.
Miles Shelby.
Miles Shelby is great. And I'm picturing Miles with an I, like someone looked at a road marker, like that's my boy.
Sure. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so she walks up and she's got like her hands together and clutching like a little purse or whatever. And she walks up and, "Deputy, why are you yelling at that sweet young lady? I hear you're accusing her husband of some awful things."
Wilda, hello.
Deputy Birch Hobbes, hello.
He's visibly uncomfortable speaking to this woman. She's like a chastising older woman, and he's just like, nope, not into it.
Now,
It's especially since you're not for the church.
Not for the church, and like all of the older people in his life before the sheriff were like cult members, and so he's just like,
Now, Wilda, don't you worry about that now. I'm giving him the dressing down as we speak.
And I'm gonna then like grit my teeth and say, "My apologies. I was hurt pretty bad in a firearm accident yesterday." And I'm gonna gesture to the bandages and say, "And I hit my head falling off Pickle, and I must have not realized that I was rambling on, and so I actually intend to once the sheriff is done reading me the riot act, I was going to, I can't say that wouldn't exist yet.
Reading you your rights.
Once the sheriff finishes reading me my rights, I have every full intention to stop by the general store and beg forgiveness. I was completely out of line, and I understand that." And I'm like gritting my teeth because like I hate this. I hate acknowledging that I fucked up.
You sure do talk there a lot there, Deputy. Why don't you run inside and get me a drink while I sit a spell and talk with your sheriff here?
I'm gonna go in and now
you get on, Birch.
Give her.
Wilda,
I feel like you give her like a nice little tip of your hat and like walk away.
Start boiling some water for tea.
Now, Wilda, what brings your kind stuff over here?
Wilda takes a seat next to you. And so, Sheriff, what is happening with the Litlows and the farm? Alva came in. She's quite in a tizzy about your young deputy there accosting her in the street.
Nah, I don't know about accosting no one. They seem to be walking just nicely down the boardwalk there, headed to the saloon. Up at the Litlows. Some strange happenings, I'll admit. Horses disappearing in the night. Barn up in flames.
A lot of tragedies up at that ranch, I'll tell you.
Truth, ma'am. I know it's before my time, but be so kind of fill me in exactly what happened with your previous wife.
Sweet Nella. You know, she sang in the choir with me. She's quite the soprano. I remember her coming into town every Sunday on that big black horse of hers. She was a sight, I tell you. Beautiful girl.
Big black horses?
Yeah, she didn't go anywhere without that big black horse.
No.
It was quite the sight, the tiny little woman riding that large beast. But she came in every Sunday and every Tuesday for choir practice.
And sorry, I sorry to interrupt you.
You know it's not polite to interrupt a lady there,
I
Sheriff.
do apologize most sincerely, and I'll come pay my respects this coming Sunday. Nella's hair, was it red?
Well, of course it was red, Sheriff. You know what? Nella was before you started working on the town, eh?
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful red hair.
Like flames, huh? Sunset?
I would say so. I think her father came from the Fair Islands, you know.
Say Nella had a sizable fortune?
Sorry, sizable fortune? No.
No, okay.
No, she didn't. Alva, on the other hand, she's got a sizable fortune. But Miss Nella, she seemed like she was in love with Marcus for a good long time. But then she ran away with that Virgil.
It's Alva.
Yeah.
I drop the kettle. Like
you come outside with like a tray and you drop it.
Yeah, like I'm walking out with like
Deputy Hobbes, you're a clumsy old.
I'm beelining over to the general store.
Now, Wilda, I do apologize, but I gotta go. Gotta make sure my deputy doesn't get in no more trouble.
Not yet. There's more info.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
I think the sheriff then grabs me by the arm and I wince because it's healed, but it's still sore.
Okay, so I see you going by and I'm just like, Bert, you sit your ass down now.
Bert, why don't you go fix up that tea that you just dropped? I'm still thirsty here, boy.
Why don't you keep talking?
Birch!
Sorry, not Nella. I erase Wilda.
You Wilda.
Why don't you continue with your story, Wilda, and I will make tea after. I don't want to interrupt the tale with the sounds of sweeping.
I'm gonna
just sit.
Now you said Ella's got pretty penny behind her?
Well, you know me, Sheriff. I don't like to gossip. Roll and manipulate me.
Is it worth me trying to? I'm going to see what his number is before I attempt to help, but I don't think I could with this thing.
Which one's?
Oh, I have an idea of a way you can help with this lady. Don't worry.
I'm not going to rough up the priest's wife.
Charm.
Or
I rolled.
I can't help with that. You stick. I can't get you a 10.
I will use a luck.
No. Don't use a luck. You're fine with an 8.
No? Fine with an 8?
Oh, okay.
Don't use luck. She turns to you and says, Sheriff, our choir is short a baritone. And if I remember correctly, you got a pretty voice there. I was wondering if you would be willing to, not forever, I'm saying just until the Christmas concert. We could really use some support.
I sing baritone.
Yes, the wrong man. I do believe
No, sorry. Liam sang baritone.
I know.
Choir.
I'm throwing you under the bus.
You fucked up your role.
Now
we meet every Tuesday for choir practice. It's from 2 to 4.
Now,
and then it's just every Sunday. And after the Christmas concert, you're free, man.
Now, Wilda.
What time is service on Sunday? I'm going to hold him to this.
9:30.
Now, Wilda, do you really want a slap fox like me amongst you hens?
Oh, yeah, of course we do. I've heard you sing on a few Sundays. Could really use your help in the choir there.
Well, how can any man say no to that?
Underlining that.
All right, you've joined the
choir. Awesome.
That will limit time we can work too.
You didn't hear this from me, but I mean, I'm sure you've heard the Alva's father. He passed away a few months ago.
No, I can't say I have.
He ran a ranch down south of Mayhew, large property, and Alva was his only child. Alva told me that during the reading of his will, he had left everything to her. But right in that moment, Alva knew that her mother needed taken care of, and her mother was whip smart. I've only met the lady one time, but she had made quite the impression on me. Alva had signed over the entire estate in trust to her mother. The trust is going to last until Alva passes away, or her mother passes away. So her mother is in charge of all her money. Apparently, Marcus wasn't too pleased about that, but calmed down after a little bit of talking to.
Right now, Birch, how's that tea coming?
I didn't go up and get the tea. Well, once I didn't. I stayed and listened.
Okay,
because
that's fine.
You're barely keeping me from leaving.
I know, but attention.
Okay.
Birch, now why don't you go around back and get the good tea?
Okay. I nod, and man, if I had taken Contra, I would have gotten. If I just stayed, I would get experience. I get up and I go around back. Like, do you mean back of the building, or like in the sheriff's office, like inside?
What the sheriff is implying is that you go search for the good tea that's out back. You're going to go out the back door and open the general store, you jackass.
I figured that was it, but I didn't know if you wanted me to like leave out the front and like walk where we're standing, or if you wanted me to disappear in the building. It means sneaking back in will be harder if I had to stay in the building. But I go around back and I'm going to sneak. Is this like an act under pressure or something?
No, you guys missed it, but Tate had left the store while you guys were talking.
Shit.
Too well done.
Okay.
But now, the Litlows are both Xing. It's starting to get dark now. It's starting, like, sun's down. Alva exits, and she's got a lantern with her. She exits the general store, and Litlow's chasing after her, and they're yelling back and forth. So as you exit the back door, you can kind of see down the alley. You can hear what's going on. So I assume you would run up to the front of the building.
Yeah.
All right, you squeeze up through the alley. Wilda stands up, and I'm assuming the sheriff stands up to like see what's going on. And it seems like Alva's trying to get away from her husband a bit. He grabs her arm and pulls her back. It actually flings this lantern out of her hand, and the lantern hits the ground. Flames spread out, and suddenly the giant nightmare jumps out of the flames